Okay. Good morning. Good morning. It's 7:15 a.m. We got a lot of stuff going on. We talked about this yesterday. We got a lot going on this week. So, and we're getting some action already. All right. So we're going to get earnings tomorrow on NVIDIA. That is going to be the number. All right. And looking for 92 billion and looking for on earnings, they're looking like at $2.09. So they come anywhere near that, they go beating that. You can maybe get a move here. We're getting a mini move here this morning. So we got let's get to go what's going on here. All right, I'm looking right at SanDisk right off the bat here, moving higher again, but not running away by any stretch. So let's take a look here on the 60. This is on the overnights. You got to keep down. Here's yesterday's business was the 2-1, tried to get back up, right? So stretch the field a little bit, a little choppy yesterday. All right. So now we come up into a higher range coming back into here. All right. So on the overnight, looks like we got to 1565. I think the big thing we got to look at is these guys up here. All right, this is where we ran into all this exhaustion risk was up at that 1624, 625, 23, 24, 25. All right, something like that. So we're not near that area yet, but we are starting to look to making this challenge right here. All right, now let's see what happens. So this was yesterday's overnights. All right, and then this is what we're looking at here today, guys. All right, so again, 1620-ish. We know that there's going to be some exhaustion risk in that area there. Now on the back on the downside is we come back into yesterday's range. All right, so we already kind of have it. So this was yesterday's high. So made a higher high here, but it's been staying above that so far. So we'll look to see if we start to dribble back into the yesterday's highs. All right, which is be 15, 16, not that far away right now, but about 30 or 40 bucks better on that one. All right, so that's Micron on the move here as well. All right, MU, same thing here. Looking at the 60 on the overnights, you had the 2-2 down, fought back, and then just chopped up like they've been doing. All right, so chop, chop, chop. Now we get up here to this 939 area. We're in a kind of a real predicament here, going into this area right up in here. All right. So this would be the next move that we would be looking into. Watch your magnitudes as we go up. Okay. Make sure you're hitting your targets, and then know when you get a rejection. All right. And when they tell you no, they'll tell you. It'll stop for a couple minutes, and then it will fall. All right. So Micron, that's what we got this morning here. AMD. I'm saving the best for last for NVIDIA. So Advanced Micro moving nicely here on the overnight, I gotta say. All right, so yesterday's highs were all the way up into this area here. All right, so they kind of stretched that out from the overnight as well. So through this though already. All right, so we kind of got to shrimp this down a little bit and start to see where we're coming up from here. All right, so we got the kind of got the cup here. You should get that little handle that we see come back. I'd like to see that come in a little lower and then that move to the upside. Because I don't know. I am not buying it this morning. I'm not. All right, so 471.61 on micro, and then so you're going to start going up into this area in here. You had a high here that really didn't, kind of kept everybody in order there for a while, but coming back up here now. All right, so the next move would be coming up into this range right in here. All right, so we got to get through these two double tops, what they look like such to be. Coming better here this morning on AMD. All right, that's where we are right now. All right, AVGO, AVGO. AVGO, a little slow on the tick on this one too, I think. 358.76. It is trading 363.50. It is higher here this morning. This was yesterday's business. We were higher. We had higher prices yesterday at 375.15. All right, so here we are back in 363. We got another kind of cup forming up here. We'd like to see that tighten that up, get back up to those highs, and then look for that pullback and that move. All right, so we'll see what happens there. You got this little dip that came back in here. They tried to chop it. Every time they land somewhere, they like to chop for a while. All right, so 63. We'll see if AVGO, if that thing wants to move gets better here. You start to coming up in this range in here around 366.62. All right, Marvel. Marvel's better here, 237 from 229. So this one's moved up even exponentially. All right, yesterday's day finished the day with an insider. All right, so you had an actionable signal coming in with a 212 that kind of broke down and then came back with the hammer back up, and it's been chopping to get where it's getting to. So right now 238. All right, so again, here we are. We're going to have to get up here and take this 238.98, which we haven't taken that yet, and then you got to go after this guy here, a little mother bar of sorts there. All right, so I don't let that sweat me too much. That's in the rearview mirror. All right, you can still see it though. All right, the NVDA, just to remind you. All right. All right, NVIDIA here, doing the same thing here, cupping it up again here on these 60s. All right, so NVIDIA right now 211. They're cautiously optimistic. I think the whole group is cautiously optimistic, and I think they're more caution than they are optimistic. That's what I really do think here right now. All right, so coming back up right now, you get this little cup move coming here. You know, Working through this mother bar is again, they put these things up as a big stop sign, say the world can't go through them. Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can. But if you can find out the right time when it gets up, then you got something going on there. All right. But anyhow, all right. So a little bit higher here this morning at 211. We were closed at 208.48. So yesterday's day did make a high up to 215.92. So that would be our next target to looking back up to the upside on NVIDIA. I think that's cautiously optimistic. All right. That's why I'm seeing them. I'm seeing some selling pressure coming in right now. We just looked at Micron earlier, and Micron's starting to give me a shooter back down now again. SNDK, they're not breaking them, but you're seeing some selling pressure coming in here. All right, so we'll see. This is going to be the battle of the buyers and sellers of all time, especially with the SanDisk. All right, so that 6 is what I'm looking at. The ones that are breaking are D-Dog. What did I say? How many times have I said it? They can't run together. They just can't run together. Did I not say this how many times? Look what's happening. D-Dog is crapping out, and these semis around the move. All right, I'm only going to go through 3. D-Dog coming down, as you can see here right now. All right, see this one on the bigger picture here. All right, there's your day yesterday with the 212 downer, and looks like it wants to take some more to the downside. You got to be into puts on these guys, all right, but you also got to be cautiously optimistic. All right, so D-Dog, there you go, IBM. IBM. They're selling these so they can buy the other ones, and they're cautiously optimistic about how they want to spend that money. All right, 2-2 back down here. Look at IBM, man, coming straight down. You got the breakdown yesterday, triggered the downside, and that was it. Now you got lower this morning down to 229. All right, so we're still near, but we're fighting the end of these two bars here. All right, so we'll see about that. IBM and Salesforce. All right, Salesforce again dipping down again. This one's been very strong. I say. All right, yesterday it was showing signs. It was breaking. It's like a crevice before the earthquake, coming back down a little bit. All right, there's your Salesforce, which 2 force up, 2 up on that month. All right, you can't see that, but I can put it on there. There you go. All right. All right, so let's go to the what do we got here? Utes. All right, we got the Utes slightly higher here this morning. They did wake up yesterday with a nice day coming back up. Will they continue? All right, we'll see what the diamonds have to say about that. Looking at the futures right now, and the diamonds are trading at 536.42. It's up $3 higher already. So it looks like the Dow is holding up. I've said this a couple days ago. Maybe these guys are going to go first, and maybe they will. All right. So XLU is a little bit better. XLE is down this morning because crude is back down. It was lower, but it's down 2.5% to the downside. All right, on XLE, XLI is better here this morning. Industrials looking a little bit better here this morning, coming back up now. All right, there's your overnight, so higher here already, guys. All right, so cat tractors moving here a little bit. All right, the big guys are going to move first. RDW. Keep an eye on this one. RDW. Okay. All right. So XLI. All right. Better. As you see, coming up here. Industrials. The airlines, maybe they can give us another day. They came up the other day. Here they come. I don't trust them, but they look a little bit better. All right. All right, so and then so industrials, XLC communications, it's better. All right, had a good day yesterday, and 113.51 right now. 113.51, guys. All right, that's a mark. I mean, but let's say even if it's 112, 192, it's still going to be inside day. That looks pretty good. Roblox has been chomping at the bit to get out. But somebody needs a line of fire. Man, maybe that's what it needs right there. Coming back down again. Garbage. All right. I love Sirius Satellite. I'm looking to buy some options on Sirius Satellite. I think Sirius Satellite is going to start to go back up. These satellites have been down forever. All right. Nice hammer coming back up here, Siri. All right. Still troubles. All right, down still on the month. It's 2 down on the month, and as you can see here on the week, it's 1-1. All right, and it's down. So waiting to see if it turns around here, and it's been really choppy. So getting out of this is going to be difficult, but if you do get out of this, you will move out of there. You get back up to $32. GCSAT. What else is? There's not too much really. There you go. GSAT not really doing too much. 82.11, right where she left off. Quiet. Iridium. IRDM. One more that I wanted to. Iridium. There's your Iridium coming back down again now. Okay. All right. So a couple quick ones here. Tesla. The Mag 7 is kind of cooling off because these guys are taking over control with the semis. We know that where all the money's going to go. So be aware of that. Tesla trading a little bit better here this morning. Closed at 348. It had it finished with a 2-1 day yesterday, and slightly lower here this morning on Tesla. We talked about NVDA. NVIDIA is starting to move a little bit more here now to 1124. So still rising here. Maybe might get a little higher move as we get closer to the start of the day. All right, so XLP probably going to cool off a little bit here. Still very good. Look at the day we had yesterday. All right. So it's just this is a good opportunity day to get an opportunity to buy some when it comes back down. All right, that's what I can say about XLP. All right, and then XLK obviously is going to be moving to the upside, and this one's going to be keep a very close eye on this one. All right, and for the semis, we'll keep an eye on there. All right, and XLY discretionaries. We talked about this thing's higher today again. I do like this one. I was talking about Dillard's department stores yesterday. Looks like maybe a little higher here this morning. So right around where it closed. We looked at McDonald's. And it craps out again on the short time. This thing has still got troubles, man, on McDonald's, but there was your day yesterday, and your week is up. All right, so little selling pressure coming in on the other side right now. Starbucks. All right, Starbucks, 107.44 and holding up pretty well, I got to say. Starbucks doesn't look so bad. Starbucks looks pretty good. Discretionaries, all right, watch that group. CCL, if there's any signs of the Iran war stopping, these will turn around, but not right now because there's no peace. All right, NCLH, and then there's RCL as well, Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. All right, a couple other ones here. Walmart this morning here and made a nice move yesterday. She pulls it back in a little bit here. I think Walmart's going to get back faster than you think. We're already trying to get through this 107.04. This is our first leap right here. We're going to have to get through there. If we get through there, then we can start to go working and fill in that gap and see if we can get back up. All right, Target. All right, 167.22, just a little bit lower this morning, coming back down on your target. And then Costco. All right, Costco on your discretionary, nice 2-day up. Maybe a little bit of pressure under pressure here this morning. All right, so it's all about the semis, guys, and we know that the D-Dogs and all the cloud fares are coming down. That's telling us, that's reconfirming that maybe these things are really going to move. But you got to watch those clouds, because if those clouds start to rally, you're going to know what's happening. They're going to cool these guys down. All right, let's look at the futures, and I'll get out of your hair. Diamonds again here, a little bit higher this morning. All right, yesterday's highs. This is a 2-2. Are we going for a third day straight up? Yes, we are, folks. So we are starting to move. We're starting to outpace the Qs for sure. All right. So diamonds, you know the ones I talked about: XLC, XLI, XLK, XLU, and XLY. I don't like the banks. I think there's too much fat in there. I think they're going to sell some of the banks off. And that is for that group. So that's my rant for the diamonds. Qs, just trying to be the comeback kid again. All right. How many times you want to be the comeback kid? How many times you want to cry wolf? How many times? All right. Let's see. That's all I got to say about that one. All right. SPY. Doesn't know where to go. It's not being the leader, and the Qs are trying to be the leader, and they can't be the leader because the stocks won't move. All right, so again, I mean, this was our day yesterday again. All right, so it looks a little bit better this morning now, 766. All right, we'll see what happens with this, man. I spoke way too long today, this morning, but be careful. Watch Planet PL. Here's another one. Could have a day, possibly, if the industrials hold up. All right, NVDA tomorrow. All right, that's it. All right, be good.